Missile prop, Atlas is so good at even applying pressure to the opposing side as being a melee goalie. We do have Finny on the other side, which is probably going to be the goalie here, though. You could have now goalie, which is also fine, but I like now a little bit more in the midfield. But yeah, lots of damage could come out here from this Finny. And Juliet, pretty good at confirming some kills here, doing some good damage with the flurry and the dash punch too. So we'll have to see if we get some kills here. They might end up relying on how many of these primaries Finny lands before we can see some sort of team coordination to get some of these kills.
Yeah, most definitely. But Finny's gonna be ever present with that missile propulsion, gonna do damage continuously as it actually is a now innate net with that strike shot. So Finny always gonna be in position to reach an enemy and get that damage out there. But gonna be interesting to see how well the now it's gonna be able to hold the defense against something like a Kai and Erasmus. Obviously, both characters having great force, great control tools as well. And now, with a mine, has opportunities to double strike to get it through the attack, but it's a bit more difficult to execute than a Finny that's just going to take your HP bar away.
Sure, and another thing to note here, though, we do have Caramel to Juliet taking Pummelers. Now, I know Pummelers has been a fan favorite for Juliet for such a long time, and really kind of never stops, but it's been really even more favorite this season for people to just continue to take these max souls, even on some of the brawlers, to make it so they really get in there when the time comes. And it's going to be this power play is going to result in just a little too much pressure here for Glitch Pong, and they're going to end up sinking that one there with a nice pass down to Striker Kai to make that work. But I'm interested to see if they can possibly get those kills, right? Because if they do, you got 30% extra speed for 14 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever the exact number is, to make it happen. So, I mean, it could be, this high-risk, high-reward situation.
Yeah, most definitely, but as it stands right now, the damage is actually coming out from the side of Dragonslayers here as they find the KO on Caramel instead and quickly turn that into 2 barriers as well. Sartre now with a really good interrupt there actually is going to be able to find 1 barrier on themselves, but the core is not really going into any lethal position on the top area there. Even if it would have been Luke with that Atlas, it's going to be such a menace to be trying to deal with. It's going to be so difficult to get through as Caramel actually almost gets taken out here, but it just barely holds on to life as the KO angle wasn't quite right.
Yeah, tough one there. And any semblance of them slamming a kill is going to be ruined by Luke having the Atlas ult there, and also going to end up landing a kill, possibly with that strike shot missile prop, to really get it on through. And Twisty, nice primary there. Pendulum swing right onto Striker, or Slasher's face is going to result in a stun and a goal. Really great work there from Twisty. And let's look at, I mean, it's going to be tough here for Pong to keep themselves in this game. This Dragonslayers already looks like a really well-oiled machine.
Yeah, most definitely. Dragonslayers just kind of showing us as well, right, why they have been put into that set 10 seed for this tournament. They've been pretty clinical about how they've been attacking the side of Glitch Pong here, and they're showing great efficiency with it, right? Caramel now here successfully actually finds an interrupt, and the berry does go down, but again, the core doesn't find its way into the net of Dragonslayers yet, as Sargely is going to have to be careful not to be taken out here, as damage is being dumped into him from Twisty and Striker Kai. Trying to get an attack going through the bottom, trying to get the force through. Strikes will be found from Striker Kai there, and a clutch ultimate from Luke will actually keep Striker Kai in the field, and more importantly, set up Striker Kai to get to the barrage to secure this first set here. A massive value out of this Atlas ultimate.
And this is maybe exactly why we see Atlas banned so often, dude. Maybe scaling a little bit too well with some of those good awakenings. The ult keeps you alive, heals you a lot. And some of those clutch situations where you're about to go and he just brings you back and the opposing team says, bruh, that is not fair. But working on to this awakening draft here, though, some of these big things showing up among Titans now. Some of the fan favorites as well now is really proficient at getting a lot of the speed. But we do have now goalie, right? So among Titans, goalie is a little sketchy sometimes. It does get you some good speed, but the strike boards do become pretty awkward when it comes to dealing with the opposing brawler. And this opposing brawler is going to be Rasmus. So, honestly, I actually do not hate that pick at all. You might be able to avoid the pendulum swing in certain situations where you wouldn't be able to normally.
Yeah, and it also kind of enables you for a lot more aggressive positioning play if you do look for it, but it's just going to make your life a lot harder, right? And you got to keep in mind as well, Twisty is on the Rasmus, and Twisty's already picked up 1 size awakening. So in a pure strike war 1v1 between Tiger Slasher and Twisty, it's not going to be very easy for Tiger Slasher to be dealing with such a huge size deficit. But if played correctly, that now can have a lot of value and just enabling both of their forward picks there, giving them more size and keeping core upfield much more aggressively than she would be able to otherwise.
I like the aggression there that Caramel was putting on, but we do have Dragonslayers surviving that situation. Luke with a really great defense with the help of Striker Kai too. Spends the flip, pushes it right on through this Juliet here into the hands of Tiger Slasher, but a pendulum swing from Twisty is going to end up slaying Tiger Slasher there and going to result in a power play here up to Striker Kai, now sending the barrage onto the bottom side and placing himself onto the top side, which is exactly what you want to be doing with Kai, especially with the missile prop. It allows you to activate that positioning a little bit easier here, as the missile prop is just going to keep covering on the farther side of that bottom side. And I mean, that's exactly the situation you want to put yourself in when you're approaching the goal with Kai.
Yeah, most definitely. But a barrier has been found now in favor of the side of Glitch Pong here. They do try to get the second one going, holding on to both of their barriers as it stands right now. Caramel also getting close to a flip here, potentially wants to try to find something, but the side of Dragonslayers are not going to give any kind of room here. As Sartli again gets put down into low HP, can't really play, and flips building on Twisty and Striker Kai here as well. I'll be trying to make use of those. Striker Kai using the flip here as well, trying to get the second barrier with it. A Sad Boy's angle will actually go around the barrier there though, as the side of Glitch Pop will still hold on to this barrier for now.
Yeah, really fortunate situation there from Pong, but they are going to lose the barrier there to Twisty, getting that nice flip right on the front there. Caramel looking a little bit weak, misses the combo. Twisty almost had a kill there, but the huge, gargantuan missile-propelled Giga Blast is going to have so much knockback and going to secure that kill for sure. Luke using pretty much everything we got here to defeat this big finish, and gets that nice hit right onto the bottom side with that flip. Yeah, Dragonslayers is looking pretty strong right now. They have a lot of control. They're even securing some kills of their own, and this team doesn't appear to have just an overwhelming amount of damage, but the coordination you can see from this team is really what's making that happen.
Yeah, most definitely. And I also do want to point out Luke is sitting on full stacks right now, so that among Titan's advantage that the now pickup has with movement speed is just immediately being replicated by that stacks and stacks on Luke as well. As just while trying to explain that as well, they just again team play so great, cleanly executing in front of the net there to secure themselves a second set here.
Absolutely. Second set for sure. Striker Kai, first one to grab their awakening here. A couple of good picks. Fight or flight, maybe the big trigger red flag for your team. Absolutely. This awakening has been terrorizing every tournament since its release, honestly. Fight or flight has been outrageously good for the forwards since the beginning. And, I mean, it shows. It shows. We're going to see Striker Kai kind of flying around all over the place here, though. I mean, a couple extra cooldowns here as well for Tiger Slasher. I mean, 1-2 punch, pretty interesting on Atlas. Kind of replicates Hot Shot to help get the ball out of there with the Astral Projection. So we'll be seeing a little bit fast ball onto Luke, especially with the missile prop too. So kind of a shocking situation we might be seeing here from Luke when it comes to defending.
Yeah, most definitely. And even another shocking situation was Twisty being able to pick up another side and the Might of Colossus and the Might of Colossus as well, which means more damage. And together with that specialized training, Death's Touch on the edge of the map will start to KO you much more frequently, as again, a great setup from the side of Dragonslayers will just secure themselves the goal for this set.
Yeah, Dragonslayers looking really strong right now. A combo of the Flurry and the Misdirect is going to launch that ball right into the bottom barrier. The Barrage is going to hold the line, but actually not aimed at any of those barriers. Tiger Slash is going to survive that situation. Run now! Okay, no double there for Glitch Pong, but we do have a power play again, a big kill. Luke's gonna hold the line with the Expanse. Twisty get some nice strikes in there to grab that top barrier. We're gonna have Tiger Slasher actually teleport into the black hole. Makes things a little bit awkward for the opposing team, but it's actually Pong that's taking a ton of damage now into the hands of Caramel. See if they can land something like a Glitch Pop here when the assisted situation, possibly from this Finny to grab this barrier. The Expanse is coming out, the strike shot as well. We're really just ping-ponging the ball back and forth. Luke tries to make a play off the top wall, but ends up own barriering there. If Twisty gets their hands on this ball one more time, though, they might find themselves getting this flip situation. Yeah, they do get the flip from Death's Touch. Now finally has their chance to open the goal. Sorry, get the point, really, and just the combination is 2v1 from Striker Kai and Twisty. They're covering so much space, and, well, you can also see the levels on the opposing side, 3, 4, 5. I mean, they just really haven't had a lot of time to even play and get these barriers. It's really just been all Dragonslayer right now.
Yeah, especially Caramel just has such a difficult time getting involved, right? Going for that Pummeler's play is going to try to look for KOs, but he's just not able to find it as consistently as he needs to. He does find a barrier there with a great punch, but the core immediately goes back onto their defensive end. Ultimate coming out here as well with a potential dash punch follow-up, but didn't seem to have the cooldowns ready for it, as Twisty punishes the positioning excellently there to get a KO and a power play in favor of Dragonslayers. They've just been playing so much more consistently, so much more cleanly, and I feel like we're going to see the end of the game here as well, as the hook from Twisty will actually completely disrupt the defensive work from Tiger Slasher there. Striker Kai just flipping it in, and Dragonslayers 2 with a convincing win in this game.
Sir, nice work there from Dragonslayers. A well-oiled machine. Great synergy there coming out from them. And man, we saw it. I mean, that game, that was a tough one there for Pong, but you know, really good effort. I saw some signs of glory showing up, but you know, really good players to be playing against right now. I mean, everyone's so good at this game at this point. Everyone's been playing so much, and nothing's free. Nothing's free anymore. Any team can really make these upsets. We saw it in a lot of these official NSA or NAS tournaments, man. It's just like the North American Strikers League and the North American Strikers Academy. I mean, it had some upsets. Let me tell you, had some upsets there. Sometimes the underdog really pulling through, but you know, it's tough, and we're going to have the Dragonslayers move on as well. Getting a little bit closer to that prize pool here, though, as everyone is here for.
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel like for the side of Dragonslayers 2 here, important win as well, because, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that secures themselves a spot in the next round. They do have one more matchup coming up against the Bun Bun, but being 4-0 at this point in the group means that they're very likely to have secured themselves a spot into the next pools here. So big win for them, important win, and they're definitely here to stay for the rest of today.
That they are, and the rest of the day shall be coming up just soon enough. As once again, we're going to grab a couple more players here, load them on into that lobby, make sure that everyone's ready to go for the next match, and we'll see you soon in just a couple minutes.